Okay, well, you may notice, if you're one of the 4 people that watched my last video on the unboxing of the Sena SF4, that there's something fishy going on here. Why am I opening another one? The short answer is that thing sucks. And you haven't seen it yet. I haven't finished editing the video, but I do have a review coming on that, so you can get all of the nasty details on why I don't like that thing. But here we are now with the new 30K. I decided to go with a dual pack on this. It saves you about $50 if you have a buddy that wants to get one of these, which is the case for me. So we split a double pack that I found on Amazon that's currently selling for about $440. So that's $100 off anyway. So here we are. Let's get this thing open. And slide it out of this fancy sleeve. I don't know why Sena packages everything like this. Very, whoops, overcomplicated. Get out of here. Okay, here's the actual box. Flip it open. Remember, this is a dual pack. It still comes with 2 of everything, but the packaging looks different than a single. They're definitely very good at packaging. This stuff is fancy. Okay, so we've got 2 30K units. Pretty straightforward. Then a base or a clamp for each one, speakers for each one. Let's go through this first. So I've never had a 20S, but from what I've read and seen in videos, this functions about the same as the 20S. With the exception of if you have the 20S Evo, it doesn't have this flip-up antenna. I guess on the 30K, this antenna is for the mesh intercom, so if you're not using mesh, you don't need this thing flipped up. As I said before, this is an unboxing. I haven't had a chance to use anything yet, so we'll see if I like this one. We'll just go with this one. Here's your clamp that you put on your helmet. I think that it comes with like a sticky option that's probably in the rest of the box here. This has the boom microphone on it. It also comes with a wired mic, and then it has a headphone jack here. I did not know that. Well, I can't get it open right now. I would assume this is for plugging in earbuds if you want. And then it has another headphone jack on the back, which, oh, interesting, that's a 2.5 millimeter. But that would allow you to plug in if you had something that doesn't have Bluetooth. If you wanted to use like an old iPod, though, you'd have to have a adapter from 3.5 to 2.5. And then this is, the speakers have a screw that holds them in there, but they are changeable if for some reason you blew your speakers out, I guess. And these are the ones I was wanting to see with my new SF4, and it came with puny little speakers, and they are not very good. So these should sound pretty good. And then the rest of this is just the other one. They're both exactly the same. So we'll get this out of the way. And I should probably put the knife away. Bring the box back over here. We've got, there's 2 panels in here. I'm going to assume that each panel is just the same stuff for the 2 headsets. We've got, oh no, that's not quite the case. awesome, good job. This time it included a car charger. My SF4 did not come with one of these, and something that I'll talk more about in my review on that, but I just figured out this weekend that I contacted Sena to ask them if I can use a car charger that came with my old headset. It was a SMH10R, and they very explicitly said yes, that's okay, it will charge, everything will work fine. That is not the case. On the SF4 you cannot use a car charger. It will power the unit, it will not charge the unit. You have to use a USB cable on a 5-volt charger, not the 12-volt charger that comes with Sena, or at least older Senas. I don't know if they're like that now. So anyway, back to this. Car charger, good job. Set that out of the way. A USB cable, another car charger for the other unit, because this is a double pack. Here's all of our Velcro pieces. We'll go through that in a minute. Instructions, what are those for? More Velcro stuff and another charge cable, so that's for the other unit, so we'll put one of these back and get this out of the way. Okay, get those out of here. I would imagine this stuff is going to be just like any other Sena. You've got your pop filters here for the boom mic, spacers for behind your speakers in your helmet, Velcro attachment pieces for your speakers and microphones and other whatever you might need to do. Here is the wired microphone. This, oh okay, so this looks like, I think, 3.5mm headphone jack to the 2.5. So maybe if you had an old iPod that doesn't have Bluetooth, plug one end into the headphone jack, the other end into your clamp on this auxiliary port here. Whoops, this one. That's my guess anyway. I don't know. I haven't used one of these before. Another boom mic. Oh, okay, so this one is designed to Velcro into your helmet and then have a small wire that goes up to the clamp if for some reason you need that. Different helmet setups, I guess. I probably won't use that. This is your sticky adapter for the clamp. And here are more headphone spacers, and it looks like foam covers for the speakers. So, as I said before, not really any different than other Sena units, especially the 20S. Your, sorry, reaching across here. From what I understand, this functions pretty much the same with the exception of adding mesh intercom. This clamp is supposedly the same as a 20S, so if you already have one of those and you're just upgrading, you shouldn't really need to change any of your install. These speakers are the same as what comes in the 20S. I have heard that this boom mic is slightly better, but I don't know that for sure. Slides down onto there just like the 20S till you hear a click. There you go. Sorry for the jump here. I just noticed something that I wanted to mention since I was talking about charging my SF4 earlier. If you have an older Sena unit, and I don't know exactly when this changed, but if your car charger looks like this and you have this yellow tag on here that says, you're probably not going to be able to read this, It says, caution, 12 volt output. Do not apply this charger to USB devices other than Sena products. What that's saying is this, when you're plugged into your bike, there's 12 volts coming out of this micro USB port, not the standard 5. And apparently that was okay on older Sena products. When I plugged in to my SF4, everything was okay. I didn't immediately blow the unit up, but it did not charge it. It powered it all day, but as soon as I unplugged it, it died. And I sent an email in to Sena about this question, if I could do this, before I actually tried it, just to make sure I wasn't going to blow it up. And they expressly told me it was fine, everything would work. It was fine in the sense that I did not blow up my new headset, but it did not work. So now on these newer units, and again, I don't know exactly where they started, when they started doing this newer style charger, I know you can't read it, but it says output DC 5 volts, 900 milliamps. This is just your standard USB charger. And I would imagine that if I plugged this into my newer unit, it would charge it just fine. I don't know what would happen if you accidentally took this older 12 volt output and put it into this fancy 30K here. I am not going to try that, but as I said before, it did not ruin this, it just didn't charge it. So if you have one of these old ones laying around from an old headset, probably don't use it unless you screwed yourself and bought one of these and it doesn't come with a car charger. Probably just don't buy one of these. Moving on. Alright, well, before we move on to our close-up shots, I thought you might want to see a size comparison between the 30K and the SF4. Obviously the 30K is quite a bit larger of a unit. I initially chose the SF4 because I liked how low profile it is, but its inability to function has proven to be more of an issue. So here is the SF4. Both of these units you can remove from the helmet. They sit in clamps, unlike the 10R that's permanently stuck on your helmet. So here's the backs of each one. You can see they're pretty close in length. Obviously the 30K is a little bit longer. The 30K definitely has a bigger footprint on the side of your helmet. It's a pretty chunky unit, and the big difference is going to be their width. Keep in mind, when each of these are on the helmet, they're going to even stick out a little bit more. This is just to show you, at least unit to unit, the 30K is quite a bit bigger. But I'm willing to give up more real estate on the side of my helmet to a unit that potentially functions better. If it doesn't function better, I'm going to have some serious problems. Okay, moving on. Before we finish up here, it's going to be a pretty quick video. We'll do some close-up shots on the unit and the clamp, so you can get a look at what we got going on here. This is your jog dial. I've never had a Sena unit, Sena, I don't know how you say it. I've never had one of these with a jog dial, so I don't know exactly what functions, other than when you click it, that gives you your intercom, and then I would assume this is volume control, but who knows, I'm just some guy. Then we have the flip-up antenna for the mesh intercom, and then in there, this button here is used to control the mesh intercom functions. Pretty excited that. Hopefully it works a lot better than Bluetooth. This is my last try with Sena. If this doesn't work, I'm going to Cardo. We've got I believe this says it's the phone button, and then you've got your micro USB port there for charging, and firmware updates. There's that. This is the tracks that the clamp slides into. This little hole right here is where the lock piece for the clamp engages, and then on the bottom are the contacts for your audio and microphone input. And I have heard that on this unit and the 20S that these pins and the contacts on the unit itself can get corroded if you ride in the rain and then put the unit away wet, because any water that gets inside of this gasket will be trapped in there. So I would say your best option would be, if you do end up getting caught in the rain, when you're done riding, just take this off the clamp so this can all dry out. I've also heard that the usual method for cleaning electrical contacts, being a Q-tip and rubbing alcohol, is not a good idea, because this little rubbery gasket here that's supposed to make a weather-tight seal will deteriorate if you get rubbing alcohol on it. So that seems kind of like an oversight by Sena there, but I guess if you do end up needing to clean corrosion off of there, you're just going to have to use a Q-tip and water or something else that's not as aggressive as rubbing alcohol. So anyway, here is the clamp. You've got, oh, interesting, there's a button on the bottom. I have no idea what that does. I guess I'll find out once I start using it and let you know in the review. And this silver metal button here is what you push. You can see the little tooth moving in to disengage the unit from the clamp. And you've got your auxiliary input, like I showed you earlier. Again, that's a 2.5 millimeter. I'm not sure why they didn't just use a regular 3.5 millimeter, like literally everything is. On the back, you've got, this plug is for your speakers. It is removable, but there's a little Phillips head screw in there. Then these two screws here, those are Allen's. I'm going to guess maybe that's a 3 millimeter. These are what you tighten once you have it installed on your helmet. This spreads out and goes, this inner finger goes in between the outer shell and the inner foam of your helmet, and then you tighten these screws down to lock it on. Obviously here we've got our boom microphone. This, I know it comes off of there. I don't know how the locking mechanism works. It looks like it twists somehow. Yeah, I might actually read the instructions on that. I know that sounds crazy, but I don't really want to break it. But the microphone is interchangeable. There's some sort of locking mechanism going on here. And then this other port that I was struggling with earlier, oh, there we go, is a standard 3.5 millimeter headphone jack that you can plug in earbuds. I guess you could technically plug it into really anything that'll use a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. I don't know what else you would plug it into though in actual use. And that ought to do it for this quick unboxing on the Sena 30K. I will, in the next 3 or 4 weeks, have a quick review on it, let you know if I like it better than the SF4, which I did not like. And thanks for watching. please hit like and subscribe if you feel like it. Bye.